Hi, we're going to take a look at estimating while we're multiplying fractions. It really helps us guide our answers. So let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at this problem. 4 multiplied by 2/3. Remember, 4 multiplied by 2/3 is the same thing as saying you want 4 of them. So we're going to estimate first. And 2/3 is kind of close to a whole. So 4 times 1 whole would be around 4, but it will be less than 4 because we overestimated. So it has to be less than 4. So let's take a look at what multiplication looks like. Like we said, 4 of 2/3 means that I have 4 of those. So just by looking at this, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, and 2/3, if I would put these 2/3 here, I can kind of estimate my answer that way. Or we can do it how you've been practicing. We said our answer would be less than 4 wholes, and we were right on. We multiply across. 4 times 2 is 8. We multiply the denominators. We have 8/3. And when we change that back into a manageable number, a mixed number, we get 2 2/3. So we said our estimate would be a little under 4, and it is. Let's take a look at this problem. So this one, we have 1 1/6, and we're going to multiply that by 2 6/12. So let's take a look at what would happen if we would round down. We would have 1 times 2. And if we would round up, we would end up having 2 times 3. So let's take a look at this. So 1 times 2 would be 2. Whoa. And 2 times 3 would be 6. Now let's look at our answers here. 1 1/6 is pretty close to 1 whole, but 2 6/12, or 2 1/2, is kind of like right in the middle. So let's take a look at our answer is going to be between 2 and 6, and it ends up being 2 11/12 because our numbers are pretty small here. I'm barely over 1 whole, and I'm halfway past 2. So our answer ends up being 2 11/12. And you already know how to multiply that across, but we want to get a reasonable answer. So let's take a look at this one. So I have 3 5/6, which is pretty close to 4, and I'm multiplying by 2 1/2. So I went 3 5/6, and I want 2 1/2 of those. So let's use that estimation. 3 wholes, times 2 wholes. We'll start with that. And then if I round up to 4 wholes and round that up to 3 wholes, let's see what our answer is going to be between. So 3 wholes times 2 wholes is 6. 4 wholes times 3 wholes gives us 12. And just by looking at this, I am closer to 4 here. And this definitely is over 2, so I'm probably going to be closer to 12 than I am 6. And when we would multiply that, changing them to improper, multiplying across, I would get 9 7/12, a little bit closer to 12 than it is 6. So let's go ahead. If you want to pause this and try this on your own, go ahead and do that. What numbers does this have to be in between? All right, I'm going to go forward here. If I did 3 times 3, it has to be at least 9. If I rounded that up, 4 times 4, it has to be under 16. So it's got to be between 9 and 16 here. And when we multiply that, we end up getting 12 and 2 9s. So this one is a little closer to 3. That one's a little over, or I'm sorry, a little under 3 1/2, a little over 3 1/2. So kind of going in between there. All right, let's take a look at this one. 3 4/5 times 2 3/4. If I round down, 3 times 2, it has to be over 6 because I rounded down. And if I bump this up, if I go 4 to 3, 4 times 3, it's got to be under 12. So it has to be a number between there. So if you get an answer that is not between there, you know that it can't be right. So we're kind of closer to 4 here and closer to 3. So our answer should be a little closer to the 12 side. And it is 10 9/20. Use this estimation whenever you're working. It's a huge strategy to help you know if you made a mistake along the way.